HTML is just a language like English or French. In fact, it is simpler than French and million times easier than Japanese. English, Japanese, French have complex set of grammars and rules and words. In HTML, there is only one grammar. There is always an opening statement and a closing statement. Let's apply this grammar to English language and see how an everyday conversation goes like. Hey, I'm going to talk English. Hey, I'm going to make a request. I want a cup of coffee. I completed my request. I completed saying English. Let's shorten this into this. English, request. I want a cup of coffee. Request, English. Now both these end statement looks similar to the opening statement. To differentiate the closing statement from the opening statement, let's use some symbol. I'm going to use the black backslash. I'm going to use the backslash, backslash, backslash. Now this closing statement is different from the opening statement. Well and good. Now I want a cup of coffee. Looks similar to request and English, correct? So we need another way to differentiate these opening and closing statements. Let's use brackets. Inside brackets have all these opening and closing statements. Bracket English, bracket request, and even the closing statements. So this is the grammar of HTML. There is always an opening statement and a closing statement. An opening statement involves the inverted brackets and a closing statement involves an inverted bracket along with a backslash. So that is the grammar of HTML. Since I told HTML is just a language, like every language, HTML also has words, main words. What if I told you all you need is 10 words, then you could master or manage a particular language? Wouldn't it be wonderful? In the case of English, I'm still learning lots of words. Even now, I'm learning lots of new words. It's not enough. In the case of HTML, all you need is probably 10 words. If you want something in your MS Word or Google Docs, you click on the toolbar icon, correct? So that is how you get the desired text. In the case of browsers, you use the words as instruction to the browser. You already know HTML if you know to work with MS Doc or Google Doc.
In MS Word or Google Docs, I can create a heading by increasing the font size and making it bold. And I could create any number of paragraphs by simply typing. And if I want to make an unordered list, I could just click on the toolbar icon. And if I want to insert a link, I could insert a link like this. So I'm going to insert my Twitter page here, and this is how I insert my link. Now if I click on this text, it will redirect to my Twitter page. If I want to insert a photo, I can also do that by inserting an image by URL. I'm going to give an URL, and this is the URL I want to give. There you go. Let's do the same thing in HTML. Open your notepad or any simple text editor. So this is a simple text editor. We saw that HTML language always begins with a HTML tag because it is like saying I'm going to talk HTML. So begin the HTML tag, HTML, and always close the tag whenever you open the tag and write whatever you want in between. Now we have created a simple HTML tag in an empty document. Save this to your desktop. So I'm going to save this file. Save this file in your desktop under any name. You could save it under hello, or you could save it under your name, or you could save it under index. Index is a common name for HTML files. So I'm going to save this as index.html because this is an HTML file. So all HTML files should have a HTML extension. If you had to have an image file, it would have .jpg or .png, correct? So here we will have .html extension. And remember to save it as plain HTML file. Don't save it as txt file. In Windows, there would be an option asking you to save it as txt file, give all files. Okay, then do not have empty spaces between the name, always have it without spaces. I'm going to save this file in my desktop. Let's see under the desktop. This is the file. I'm going to open this file with the browser because browser is the one which understands HTML language. There is nothing in this because we haven't done anything between our HTML tag. Let's write something between the HTML tag. Now there is something between the HTML tag. So we are like saying, I'm going to talk HTML, my autobiography HTML. Now the browser should show something. Yeah, it shows something, but it's not what we expected. We expected this, correct? We expected a big heading. It's not what we wanted. So you know the grammar of HTML. It always has an opening tag and a closing tag, correct? So this my autobiography should be between some opening and closing tag, which should make it into a big heading. So let's guess that. I'm going to guess if there is a heading tag. Unfortunately, there is no heading tag. Instead, we have h1 tag. So what h1 would do is, it will create a huge heading for us. So I'm going to save this. Remember to save and refresh. There you go. Now we have this, what we expected, which is a huge heading. We have this heading. Remember the coffee example where you said, I'm going to talk English, I'm going to make a request, I want a cup of coffee. I completed saying my request, I completed saying English. It's the same thing here. It's like saying, I'm going to talk HTML, I want a H1 heading, I want a large heading, and this is what I want. Completed my request for large heading, and I completed talking HTML. This is the grammar of HTML. This is all you need to understand. HTML is so simple. Now let's make a smaller heading. This heading is a bit smaller than the previous one. Save this and go to your browser and do a refresh. So this is a huge heading and this is a smaller one. And there is H3, H4 and H5, which are headings but smaller compared to the others. So this is how you create a heading. Okay. Now we have successfully created a heading. In our document example, next we have a paragraph. So I'm going to copy this paragraph and paste it in my notepad. Let's see if it works. I've saved it and I'm going to do a refresh. It works. Now this seems like a paragraph. Let me try writing another paragraph. Save this and do a refresh. Oh no, everything comes in a same line. This doesn't look like a paragraph. So I want this to be a single paragraph and next to be in another line, but this is not looking like a paragraph. To make it a paragraph, we have something called a, not a paragraph tag, we have a p tag, p for paragraph. So I'm going to enclose this paragraph under the p tag and this particular paragraph under another p tag. So basically we are asking the browser to show a paragraph. I've saved it and refresh. So now it comes under a different line, just like a normal paragraph. We have successfully created a heading and we have seen the paragraph tag. Next we have to see the unordered list. Let's see how to write an unordered list. You could guess what would be the tag for unordered list. Unordered list? No, UL. UL for unordered, L for list. So unordered list. So this will be the tag. This is where we are going to place our unordered list. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. But the thing is, each one we should enclose it in another tag called li tag, that is list item. So this is item number 1 and we have to enclose the CS. So we are going to get it. We are close. Let's create this external link that links to my Twitter page. So this is my Twitter page as the text. As you guessed, this would go under some HTML tag. You might think it would be link, but it's not. It's something called A. A for anchor, A for another website. You could remember that way. And I will close the tag, A tag. I will save it and refresh the page. It's not looking like a link. So there should be a link to my Twitter website. How do I give the website information? I cannot give the website information http:/twitter.com here because it is a text. So this place is only for text information. Where do I put my additional information? There should be some way to specify my additional information. Probably I could mention my additional information here. No, it doesn't work. So the way you specify your additional information is using something called attributes. You can call this attributes as additionals. Okay, remember this as additionals. So every tag accepts attributes or additional information through something like this. This is the syntax. Here a tag accepts href. It can be anything. It can be class, style. There are different types of attributes. In our case, it's just href. Href is a reference. So it's a reference to a site. Okay. So A is the tag for creating a link, and this tag will accept the additional information about the website through href. So I'm going to save this and refresh. If I click on this, I can visit my Twitter page. So it works. So any additional information you could pass with the syntax of equal to. Now we have successfully created a link to my Twitter page. Let's show this image in our HTML document. I copied the image URL. You would have guessed it would go under something like image tag. In fact, it's not image tag, it's img tag, a short abbreviation. I'm going to save this and refresh. We are just getting the image link as it is, when in fact it should have rendered the image. The rendering happens not here. Only it will only happen if you pass it as an additional information to the image tag. So we have to pass the image URL as an additional information to the image tag. So we pass it as src. In the case of a tag, it accepts href attribute. In the case of image, it accepts src, like a source. Pass me the source. So I'm going to save it and refresh. There you have my image. Now there is no point in opening and closing this, so I'm going to make it a self-enclosing tag, a tag, an opening tag that closes itself. So now still it works. So that is how you insert an image in a HTML document. We could also add additional attributes or additional information like width. I want the width to be 200 and height to be 200. See, all the additional information can be passed like this. So we have passed the additional information about the source, about the height and width to the image tag. An HTML page can be divided into multiple divisions like sidebar, footer, navbar, post list, comment list, and these divisions can be achieved with something called div tag. So this is how you define a div tag or division tag, and under each div tag you can have multiple elements organized. Here in this div tag I have a paragraph tag. I could also move this list into my div tag. So now I could call this division as my main page or main content. We use division mostly with CSS, which we will see in the next video. So far we have seen commonly used HTML tags like h1, p, div, image, ahref. To see and learn about more such HTML tags, and there are more HTML tags, you could Google for it, and you will come across this link where you could see different set of tags. But the tags whichever we saw are the most commonly used tags. Think of tags like you think of words when you are learning language. If you are learning English or French, you would ask, what is the word for cat? What is the word for dog? How do I say what? How do I say why? So think of that way. So these tags h1, div, p, img are a way of expressing something, just like how you would express saying cat or saying a question in a new language that you are learning. You might ask, if we are doing the same thing as MS Word or Google Doc, what is the purpose of using HTML? The purpose of using HTML is not just to display things like heading, paragraph, or image. You could also interact with users with animations, with graphics, and even forms. You would have used Google search, Facebook signups, login forms. All these forms are made using HTML tags. You could not make these set of forms or buttons in MS Word or Google Docs. We can also see how to make a button. This is how you make a button. It's a button tag. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to refresh. There I have my button. So this is possible only in HTML. It's not possible in Google Doc, I guess. So this is how I have my input. Let me check my input. So here I have my input tag where I could input any text, email or password or anything. So this is what differentiates an HTML language from merely using this toolbar in a MS Word. So far we saw how to use these tags. I just noticed in our untitled document, here I have this heading untitled document, but in our HTML page we don't have any heading or title for our document. So let's give a title for our document. So that to give title you can use the title tag. So I'm going to give a title tag. Page using HTML will be the title, and I'm going to close my title tag, save it, and there is my title. So we have successfully given our title for our HTML page. Now these tags are not organized, and this is not the actual way that you write a proper HTML document. First, whenever you write a HTML document, you have to specify what version you are using, whether it's a HTML5 or HTML4 or a old version. It's a standard. But most of the time we will be using only HTML5, so you only need to know about this syntax, which is doc type HTML. This is like saying if you are talking American English or British English, and then you will say I'm going to talk English. Okay, it's just that. So remember to write this statement every time that you begin a HTML page. Next, you have to organize. So there are two parts. Like a human body, there is a head and a body. So consider this as a body, whatever that we see, and consider whatever that we don't see as head. Okay, so we see these things, correct? Move all the tags that are visible to us under something called body tag. So this is a convention. If you don't have head or body, it won't work in old browsers. So I enclosed whatever tags that we wrote, whatever that is visible under the body tag. So everything is under the body tag, just like human body. So I have moved all the visible part of our page into the body tag, and there is a head tag, and head tag will have all the invisible part or the extra information. All the extra information, all these extra information will be in your brain, right? So all this extra information and parts that are not visible to us will belong to head tag. So tags like title belongs to the head tag. We will include JavaScript, CSS, things like this inside this head tag. This is how you should write a HTML document. So remember to specify the type. So this says that it is HTML file. I would suggest installing VS Code editor. It's a great editor. It's available for all operating system. I will give a brief demo on how to use it for HTML. So I'm going to create a new HTML file. I'm going to save it first. So I'm going to save it as hello1.html and save it to my desktop. And as I type, you would see that it is auto completing. This is a feature built into VS Code. So I'm going to say HTML file and press tab. There you have it. So you have all these set of tags that you need whenever you write a HTML page. So you don't have to type this. It's already there. So you just go right in. Now, if I want to write H1 tag or H2 tag, I just need to type the tag and press tab. This is cool, right? So you will find this VS Code very useful. There are lots of plugins for VS Code. You could also install the plugins suitable to your workflow. So I highly recommend this editor. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any suggestions, please leave it in your comments. And if you want more such videos, please subscribe and like this video. Thank you.